Deadpool. Yeah, I just got my tickets for Deadpool 3 this morning, which is crazy that they're already on sale. It's like May 20th at the time recording this video. The movie doesn't come out till July 26th, and yet they already got tickets on sale. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, I had to get my tickets. So, anyways, Deadpool is an interesting movie. How do I approach this review? Because I don't want it to sound like I hated this movie or didn't like it. I should state this is my first time watching it. I've seen bits and clips. People have talked about these movies enough. I know enough about these movies, right? It started the whole meta trend where every movie's got to be meta. It gave us the Ryan Reynolds thing, that kind of stuff. I've seen enough of this stuff to know what this movie is, right? But I'm like, this is my first time watching it. So, like, this movie is an interesting movie for me because I remember people loving this movie when it came out, even though I wasn't old enough to see it. Um, People talked about this movie a lot. And, sequel, people talked about a little bit. But then you get to now, people really love Deadpool. And it's kind of a thing, right? I've never really read any of the Deadpool comics, but you know, Deadpool's just kind of out there now. It's a big deal. So I kind of watched this movie, and I don't know, I didn't care for it as much as I thought I was. There are people who love these movies, being like, "Oh, it's really funny." I'm like, like I don't know. I think there's two things that ruin this movie for me, uh, and that's not saying this is a bad movie. It's actually a pretty decent movie. It's not one of my favorite movies. It's definitely one of my favorite Fox superhero movies because it's a fun movie, and I did have laughs with it. But the two things that ruin it for me is I get why people like this movie a lot when this came out. Let me explain. When superhero movies were when it came this movie came out in 2016. In 2016, we had Captain America Civil War, which I know had humor in the movie, but it was a movie largely taking itself more seriously than I would say the average Marvel movie. We had Batman versus Superman, a movie that people really complained was way too dark and serious, and people didn't like that, and it was a big thing. And then we had Suicide Squad and all these other superhero movies come out this year. There was a real talk of superhero fatigue because most of these movies weren't great or really that good, and I would argue Captain America Civil War is the latter. Fight me. But like these movies aren't like we're just kind of like out there. So people really loved this movie because if you were watching comic book movies at the time, nobody expected a Deadpool movie anything really out of it because a Deadpool wasn't that big of a character before these movies came out, and b Deadpool, um, the first Deadpool appearance in a movie was X Men Origins Wolverine, where they sew his mouth fucking shut. So it's kind of like, oh, Deadpool, you know, was like not this big popular character, but then you see this movie and it's a really fun movie. It's got a lot of laughs, and the other comic book movies at the time didn't have that. But now it's like, okay, but everything's meta now. Everything has the Deadpool sense of humor in it. And so, like, it's not that new and fresh anymore. So, while I can appreciate maybe what this movie did for the comic book movies at the time, I don't really get that out of it now because, yeah, I've seen sillier comic book movies. And there's movies that I enjoy more with more sillier tones, with comedic vibes to it. Like, I enjoy the Shazam movies a lot more. I enjoy the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I mean, I know those are a little bit older, but the Shazam ones aren't. But still, I don't know. I think that's the other thing. And the second thing that ruins this movie for me is Ryan Reynolds. Like, don't he's great in the role. He's awesome as the character. And like, I told someone the other day, like, really, the only movie I could really stand watching Ryan Reynolds in is Deadpool, because Deadpool's just Deadpool. He's great as that character. People have told me that when they read comics, they imagine Deadpool's voice, and I could imagine that too because, like, I probably do the same in the sense that Are they done? Are we done? Are we done? Are we done? Okay, thank you. No, they're still going off. All right. Can we shut up? I don't know. Anyways, Deadpool. Yeah, this movie is really it's Ryan Reynolds is now everywhere now, and he does the same shit in every movie. I saw him in If like this weekend. If's awesome. I love the movie. He's not good in the movie. He's doing the Ryan Reynolds thing, and it's not really the right movie for him to do that. Um, he's awful in Red Notice. He's awful in so many of these movies because he's doing Deadpool, but the bargain bin Deadpool. And so I've seen a lot of these jokes before, even without seeing the Deadpool movie. A, just because cultural osmosis, and B, just because Ryan Reynolds has literally just been doing Deadpool in every movie since then. So I don't know. That's kind of I'm just getting out all the way. Um, Now I can actually kind of talk about more of the strengths of this movie. Of course, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is great. The intro to this movie and how they set up the comedic tone is great with the credits and everything. That's really funny. There's a lot of great like gags where you do have to have some kind of knowledge of the industry and have some kind of like understanding of all these different things, and so like there is some intelligence to the movie, but also kind of not, and I enjoy all that. I love how the immaturity of this movie in a lot of ways, and Deadpool's character, they really play that up in the movie. That's fun. And I enjoy most of the side characters. I thought they were really good. I didn't really like TJ Miller. Fuck TJ Miller. Stop being in movies. You're really fucking irritating. You're kind of a little bit of a douchey person from what I understand. I don't know. Don't know the guy, but I've heard stories. Um, but like, I don't know. This movie just kind of is out there. And I also enjoy that, unlike most Fox action movies, not only is this movie rated R, which I appreciate, but it also like it has its own distinct vibe to it. It plays around with itself. Also, the way this movie's shot and the action is shot is very different, and really is its own style. I think this movie definitely is like a little too darkly color graded. Need a little bit more life and personality into it, but still. And some of the costumes a little bit too dark. Even Deadpool's costume, like look how bright red he is on this cover. That's not how bright red he is in the movie. And I don't know, but like I enjoy this stuff. I think this was a fun movie. I'm not here to like trash on it. The soundtrack was fun too. The movie's a fun movie. I'm not here to like talk shit about the movie. I'm more just saying why this movie really isn't gonna really stick with people. I think as the years go on, as people think it will. The only reason it will is because people are fucking nerds and obsessed with comic book movies and won't shut the fuck up about them. But like in terms of people wanting to see like a really good movie, Deadpool's not going to really do that because 20 years from now we're going to be so inundated with this fucking Deadpool humor and Ryan Reynolds shit that we're going to even forget that it even came from Deadpool in a way, I guess. I don't know. That's just my thought process. I enjoyed the movie. I also enjoyed that the movie had a love story angle to it and had fun with that. I just think this movie did its thing and it did it well enough at the time, but now it's being a little bit played out and it's even ruining the good examples of it. Yeah, I want you guys to let me know in the comments. What's the example of a movie that you really liked when it came out because it felt new and fresh, and then other movies started doing it over and over again, and now you can't even watch the original version of that. For me, that's Deadpool, and probably Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity felt very new and fresh when it came out, and even when I first saw it, it felt a little bit new and fresh, and then you started seeing all the fucking copiers, but yeah.